Hey guys, welcome to Solo ReacTalk. Today I'm going to be reacting to Jesse Thoth World of Warcraft cinematics and trailers. This is part 11 if I'm not mistaken. If you want to watch my previous parts, you can click on the card that I'll show right here, click on it, and you'll be able to access my previous reactions. Okay, let's start. 3, 2, 1, go.
He is dying.
His wounds can be healed.
I hope you can forgive yourself for what you have done to him. We've made a thorough inspection of the wreckage, Your Majesty. There is no sign of Admiral Taylor or his ship.
200 ships at my disposal, yet the one carrying my son goes missing. What of their last message? Show me whatever you have.
We have been drawn off course. Horde air fleet. Many casualties. Shipwrecked on an uncharted isle. But the White Pawn is accounted for. Repeat, the White Pawn is safe.
Anduin.
Surprise attack! Requesting immediate, if anyone's received.
Sir, the 7th Fleet has already been dispatched, but it could take weeks before it...
There's no time to waste. We'll send a small elite force to secure this new land and bring back my son.
I am pleased to report that the battle at sea goes well, War Chief. Our forces report decisive victories off the coasts of Tanaris and Tol Barad.
Alliance blood spills. This pleases me, General.
There's more. I received word that our southern fleet engaged an Alliance envoy. We chased the royal flagship until it ran aground.
Aground? Where?
Apparently, they found a massive, uncharted landmass, shrouded by dense mists.
And you let the Alliance get there first? Redirect the invasion fleet. General, you and your best veterans will pave our way. Storm the shore and paint this new continent red!
A message must lie within. What fate did the Emperor foresee?
Oh, sorry guys. I forgot. Sorry. I thought this was all one thing. I thought this was all one thing. It's only now that I realize that it's actually, small snippets of different cinematics. Damn. But okay. The first cinematic, the one with Asa, that Pandorian female woman. I think this is the first time I actually see a female Pandorian. And I don't know what they were talking about exactly. But I heard a creature moaning and groaning in the background. I'm not sure what that was. You guys in the comment section, you guys can tell me what was that about. In the second one with, I don't know who is that king, but his son, the Prince Alduin. I remember Alduin. Yes, I remember Alduin. It was from a cinematic with Sylvanas, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's that Alduin. Yeah, but he had blonde hair, and the father has brown hair. Yeah, but they look alike. They look similar, so I'm sure it must be them. Yeah, the father's scary. Guys, the father has intense eyes, like he's dead serious. He's like, you don't want to mess with this guy. And I guess it's quite understandable because his son has gone missing. How is it possible that he has gone missing? I don't know. An heir to the throne shouldn't be going around places. He should be staying at home, getting groomed to become the next king. But I guess it's different in the world of Azeroth, where the prince can go anywhere he wants, and probably he was doing this for a diplomatic mission, because it said a diplomatic envoy or a royal envoy of the Alliance. So yeah, Garrosh and one of his generals talking there. Garrosh is so funny. I don't know. I find him a bit funny, a bit clownish in a way. I don't know. Not because he kind of reminds me of a typical evil person. He just wants to destroy everything and burn everything and make sure the land is awash with blood of his enemies. So he's quite predictable in that sense. And I've always wondered, does he change his ways? I'm still wondering that even today. Does he ever change his ways? And the Alliance and the Horde were on Pandaria, and they were about to fight. And I saw an Alliance species that I've never seen before. Those fish kind of people, those fish aquatic people. That was very interesting. And the monkeys were on the side of the Horde, if I'm not mistaken. It looked like that way. They were fighting as predictable, the Horde and the Alliance. And they interrupted something that they shouldn't have, dealt with. That shrine that collapsed and got destroyed, and a creature just popped out of nowhere. That was interesting. I'm wondering what kind of creature is that. Probably it was entombed during the times of the Sundering. Must have been like a demon from the Burning Legion. I'm not sure. You guys in the comments section can also tell me about that. And yeah, I think I'm up to date now. Let's continue. Well, I guess the Horde and the Alliance have gone into full-blown invasion mode for Pandaria. And of course, the Pandarians don't know anything about what's going on. They're none the wiser about the Horde and the Alliance. They just find these things coming onto their shore, you know, tanks and men and women, dwarves, elves, humans, and other Alliance members, and the Horde with their trolls and the undead, and who else? The Taurons, you know, people with technology just popping up, popping up with flying helicopters that can transform into tanks and all that stuff. That's crazy. And the Pandarians, like I said, they're none the wiser. They probably must be shook, you know. Here they are farming, enjoying their lives. All of a sudden, boom, airships are coming out of nowhere. Full invasion forces. I kind of feel worried about how this is going to turn out for Pandaria. This land is literally going to be teared apart by these two factions. And they had nothing to do with this war. They were just living their lives. They were neutral. They didn't go beyond their island nation. And now they're being dragged into this war. It's kind of sad. Okay.
ask why we fight is to ask why the leaves fall.
Well, that was a nice recap of what has gone on in World of Warcraft so far with all the installments. Of course, my favorite installment is still the Wrath of the Lich King, compared to the Burning Legion and Cataclysm and even Mist of Pandaria. I still think that the Wrath of the Lich King was the installment of the game. I know probably many of you who are watching are probably in disagreement with me, but that's how I feel. You know, he was an enemy that was truly menacing compared to what we face after. I know, like, you know, the other enemies are just as terrible, are just as, you know, fearful. You know, Deathwing wanting to literally obliterate all of Azeroth, you know, burn it down to the ground, I understand, and other forces in the other installments, like in the Burning Legion, having their own ulterior motives. Yeah, but, you know, I don't know. The Lich King story really hit home for me. I don't know. It was deep. It was deep. I think that's all I could say about it right now. Okay, let's continue. Okay, the Thunder King. I don't know what was I looking at exactly. Those look like dinosaurs. Yeah, but with a lot of stuff on their heads, and I don't know, it made them look weird. I couldn't really focus on them holistically. I was focusing on the small itty bitty things on their necks, on their head, on their backs. It just distracted me a bit. But yeah, the map, or the dungeon map, I should say, is quite cool looking. I'm assuming it's also still in Pandaria. I don't know who the Thunder King is. I only know the Emperor, so I'm not sure. Maybe it's the Monkey King? Nah, I don't think so.
Pandaria, her hills of gold, in dark and mournful times of old, did once a hopeless horror hold. When from her sacred veil did spring, with storm and flash, a monstrous thing, his name lay Shen, the Thunder King. His thunder boomed across the land, and none who dared and fought could stand against the Iron Tyrant's hand. A palace grand, a walled domain, such mighty works born of his reign, built by slaves, their hearts in chains. But seasons change and tyrants die, his fury spent in times gone by. The thunder slept beneath Gunlai.
Secure the remains, brothers.
By Zandalari hands, he has been taken. By Zandalari voice, he has awakened.
Okay, the Thunder King. I think they said he was set in a time before the Emperor Xiaohao, maybe. If I'm wrong, you guys can correct me. I'm not sure what species he is exactly. I thought maybe he was a troll, and the people who were resurrecting him also kind of looked like they were trolls, if I'm not mistaken. Or maybe they are a different form of Pandarian that I've never seen before. Yeah. He was a tyrant, slaver. He built himself a very impressive palace, if you can call it that, or a castle, with all those statues of himself and, you know, other trinkets. And they should have burnt his body. Why did they why did they bury him in such a extravagant tomb with his casket still in there and his body still in there? They should have burnt his body so that he would never return. But yeah, that's just me talking. Let's continue.
Hail. This land.
Children of Pandaria, the mists have fallen. A new era dawns for us all. Accept the healing powers of this Vale, but use these gifts wisely.
Okay, I remember those gates from the Emperor Xiaohao cinematic movie. I remember those gates. I wonder if it's the same gates or it's different gates. I'm not sure. And the dragons on Pandaria are so different from the dragons we see, you know, in the rest of Azeroth. These dragons don't have wings. They just, you know, glide or slither in the air like that. That's very interesting. I like it. I like the design concept for those dragons. If they are dragons. You guys in the comments can tell me if they are dragons. I think they are dragons. Although I've never seen what they can do, but I can see they can fly. Very cool looking. So yeah, let's continue.
It thirsts. Bring it to the pools.
Enough! You have run rampant for far too long, Hellscream. But that stops now.
Step aside, Pandarin. You confront a force beyond reckoning.
Your father dabbled in powers beyond reckoning. Where is he now?
trolls and others. You are nothing like them. They are no longer part of my horde. The world will hear of this. They will come for you. Yes, I'm counting on it. The armies of the world will come for me. And within my fortress, they will face all the terrible creatures I have wrought. The boundless power I have mastered. And one by one, they will fall at my feet. Anyone who would rise against my new horde will be impaled upon the spires of Orgrimmar. You Pandarin tried to bury your hate and your anger, but such power cannot be contained. It must be unleashed! A time will come when you will answer for your crimes. I answer to no one! Me will burn in the fires of my hatred.
Wow, he really did it this time, didn't he? Garrosh. Oh, but why? That Pandarian monk should have never brought up his father. You could see that's a line you shouldn't cross. The man was already ticked off. You just had to make him explode by talking about his father and how he messed up everything. Oh, man. But this fight was epic. This fight was cool. I thought he was done for when he punched him off the bridge. But he just touched the water with his tippy toes and then he lifted up like a rocket and came down with a flying kick. That was amazing. I can't remember what was that thing in the chest that Garrosh threw inside the water, inside the well. Is it the Well of Eternity? I forgot the name. Well, in Pandaria, I forgot the name, guys. I'm sorry. You guys can tell me again or remind me. It looked like a heart. The thing that Garrosh threw inside the water. It looked like a heart. I can't remember now. But I remember someone telling me about this. I think it was Jesse Thoth. He was telling me about this situation right here, but it was so long ago now. I can't really remember it all. I'll have to look back on those messages. But yeah, that was interesting. And I still don't understand Garrosh's plan really. Why is he doing this? Like, why? What's his purpose for doing this? Is he also being controlled by the Burning Legion and he doesn't even know it? I'm thinking that, but I don't know. And his eyes are glowing differently. So yeah, I think maybe he's possessed. Or maybe this is who he's always been and I just didn't take him seriously. I still don't. I still find him a bit clownish. But yeah. Don't mess with his dad. Don't ever mention about his father. Don't do it. Just don't do it. He'll whoop your ass.
You disappoint me, Garrosh. You are not worthy of your father's legacy.
His punishment is not for you alone to decide.
I won't let you take him.
We have all suffered from his atrocities. My people, more than any other. Let him stand trial in Pandaria. There, we will mete out justice for all.
Look at them. Already they plot against us. Seize this moment, Varian. Dismantle the Horde.
Guardsmen!
Father, what are you doing?
What a king must do.
I will speak to your war chief.
I speak for the Horde.
Very well. The Horde has committed heinous crimes, Vol'jin. But some among you fought against Garrosh's tyranny. For that, I am willing to end this bloodshed. But know this. If your Horde fails to uphold honor as Garrosh did, we will end you.
Wow. Okay, so Garrosh was defeated and is going to be brought before a court in Pandaria. Wow. I'm still processing everything. So the king's name is Valen, and I saw Anduin, and that did not look like Anduin. Who is that? Who is that? I can see he has the blonde hair, but that's not him. Come on, guys. Come on. That's not him. Who was that? Oh, gosh. Thrall is back. He was about to kill Garrosh, but he was stopped. And that lady who was advising Valen to finish off the Horde, I thought they were going to fight right there in that place. I don't know where that is. I thought they were going to fight there. Because I could see the intensity in Valen's eyes. Like, as I said before, you know, Valen is very intimidating and scary looking, especially with his eyes. The way they're so dead set. You know, people who have, you know, those kind of eyes that, you know, it's fearsome. Like, the eyes speak themselves, you know, they have this sort of aura around it. That's the kind of look they gave Valen, and it's amazing. You know, he just oozes this intimidation aura around him. You know, and his son... Let's continue.
You disappoint me, Garrosh. You are not worthy of your father's legacy.
His punishment is not for you alone to decide.
I won't let you take him.
We have all suffered from his atrocities. My people, more than any other. Let him stand trial in Pandaria. There, we will mete out justice for all.
The Horde needs its true war chief. Now, more than ever.
Yes, but it was you that held the Horde together during this madness. It was you that protected our honor. From this day forward, Vol'jin, if you lead, I will follow. am not worthy. But I will give my all for the Horde.
I will speak to your war chief.
I speak for the Horde.
Very well. The Horde has committed heinous crimes, Vol'jin. But some among you fought against Garrosh's tyranny. For that, I am willing to end this bloodshed. But know this. If your Horde fails to uphold honor as Garrosh did, we will end you. It's Serpent guy.
Okay, so now we understand how Vol'jin became the war chief. I didn't talk about him in the first part when I was talking about what was happening with Garrosh and everybody else. But now that we understand how Vol'jin became the war chief, I understand and I accept and I agree with Thrall's suggestion that he should be that he should be the war chief, because well, I'm basing this off the Warcraft or World of Warcraft Machiminas that I've watched previously. If you don't know which one I'm talking about, I'll put the card right up top here, where Vol'jin was talking to Garrosh and telling him that what he's doing is wrong and how he's managing the Horde is not really working to the advantage of the entire organization. And he did say that at the end I'm gonna be there with you being defeated and I will be on top. And that's what happened. Is on top. So yeah, let's continue.
Serpent guide you. Dear Emperor, it is done. The darkness that you once struggled against has been purged from Pandaria forever. But the cost, such a terrible cost.
Do not despair the damage that was done here. You triumphed over the darkness I had locked away. You have shown Pandaria the power of a true hero. But the question still remains, why do we fight? I trust you have learned to fight out of fear or anger is to fight a war that never ends. Face your fears, calm your hatreds. Find peace within yourself so that you may share it with the world around you. These are the greatest treasures in life. Truly they are worth fighting for.
Thank you, Emperor. Thank you.
Okay, so the Emperor Shao Shen, Shao. I forgot his name, guys. I'm sorry. Yeah, but the Emperor planted a new seed for a new golden tree to be, germinated, to be started, and yeah, I guess the land will come back to what it used to be. It will just take some time. What Garrosh did was terrible, but it can be healed. It just needs time, and I think the people of Pandaria also need time to rest from this culture shock that has just occurred on their island. They've been brought into the world of World of Warcraft forcibly, violently. They are now in it. Okay.
So... it was a bear?
In a hat!
Oh, okay. I guess that's it for today with part 11 of World of Warcraft Jesse Thoth playlist. Yeah, this was very interesting how everything progressed, how Garrosh literally turned his back on the Horde and created his own zealousy of a Horde and tried to destroy Pandaria. And I don't know for what reason. Honestly, I don't understand his reasoning. But he's been saying it in the earlier cinematics that he wanted blood, he wanted to conquer Pandaria. So I guess maybe this was his way of conquering it by contaminating that well with that dark, corrupted heart. I'm still not sure what it is exactly. You guys can tell me in the comment section. Vol'jin, congratulations. You became the new war chief. As I said before, I've watched in a Mishimina where Vol'jin and Garrosh were talking amongst each other in the throne room, where Vol'jin told Garrosh that, you know, I'm going to be there when you're defeated. And here he is. And here he is being titled as the war chief. And Thrall really is not what I expect. Like, every time this guy surprises me, you know. I thought he was going to take command of the Horde after Garrosh's defeat. I thought he was going to take control of the Horde again. But surprisingly, he relinquished that role and gave it to a troll. And I don't know. I always thought that the Horde were going to be led by orcs, and that orcs would never ever accept the authority or the rule of someone who's not of their kind, you know. But really, Thrall surprised me, and I can say that maybe even the Horde is surprising me. They are far more, how should I say this, diplomatic than I thought, you know. That are able to compromise for the greater good of the Horde. Until Garrosh came into the picture, he was another story altogether. But really, I was quite taken aback by that, you know, how Thrall just decided, no, you are the perfect leader for this position. You are the one who led us. You're the one who kept us united, even though there was infighting instigated by Garrosh. So really, I was surprised. And yeah, I guess this story wasn't that epic, but it was good. It was good. It was a good story. It gave us the end to Garrosh. It gave us the full understanding of Pandaria and the way that people live their lives. And it also gave us not an end to the war between the Alliance and the Horde. These guys are not going to stop. I'm afraid, even though Vol'jin is now the new leader, he hates the Alliance just as much as anyone else in that room. So this war is going to continue. And I think the next king, Alduin, is going to be, you know, he's going to be like his father in a way. Kind of, I think. I'm not sure. Because I remember in that cinematic, he looked exactly like the father. And I don't know if he was as fearsome as his father is. I'm not sure about that. But he's going to finally understand what it means to be a king. And probably he'll do things differently. I don't know. Okay, guys, I guess that's it for today. Remember to give me a like if you liked the video. Comment and subscribe to my channel. And also click on the notification bell if you want to be up to date with my latest videos. Okay, that's it. Bye-bye.